All right, enough of that there. We're a bit early today. Welcome to Office Hours. Every Friday we do this on our membership site, but sometimes every once a month or 1.5 months, we'll blast this out to our other groups as well, to our Facebook and our YouTube as well. And every Friday, what we do is we try and pick a topic that we can cover. And today I thought we'd get a little bit more advanced. We've talked a bit about buyers and how to handle buyers, how to find buyers and prospects. We haven't talked about kind of higher level buyers, corporate buyers, institutional buyers, some buyers that are going to be, or sellers that are going to be repeat business for you. And we haven't talked much about that because the focus primarily of the schools tends to be kind of introduction to commercial real estate. So a lot of the basic foundation is kind of what we try and build on. But I thought today we would expand on that just a little bit. As you guys get more advanced in the commercial field, you can kind of expand into this type of stuff, which is really valuable for you. Getting consistent clients that are going to be repeat business over and over again. You can kind of be their regional go-to for stuff. So, and the whole point of doing a topic to start with, we typically 15, 20 minutes or so, is to allow you time to join us and ask questions, right? So if you have any questions, whether it's on this topic or anything else, let us know and we can cover it. But today we're going to talk about a little bit more advanced on commercial buyers and sellers. Okay. Now, typically in residential, you've got someone who's going to buy their own home, right? And they're not going to buy a new home every single year, correct? So that's, I think the average is like 5 to 7 years. People tend to trade their home out. And so every residential client you get is a 5 to 7 year client. It's not an annual client. On commercial, it depends, right? So we've got a couple different categories. We've got owner users, right? So someone who has a business, they need to either expand or put their business into a location, right? That's an owner user. Or an investor who has an investment property like multifamily or self-storage. And then they typically expand over time to new stuff. And what we've covered usually for us has been those two categories. And those two tend to be few and far between their purchases, right? So an investor might buy maybe one a year, but these small, mid-sized investors typically are a little bit more spread out. Okay. Now, what we're going to talk about today is a corporate or an institutional investor, which is it's a level up from what you've been dealing with so far. Let's talk a bit about that. Okay. These are going to be consistent and repeat business for you, right? So these are people that are expanding their businesses. They're usually a national group. You, for them, are going to be a regional asset. Okay, for the national group, or if it's a regional group, you're going to be their real estate person that they typically rely on for a lot of things. And it takes a long time to build that relationship up, right? Let me check here. No comments yet. No questions yet. Ask any questions you have. So that takes a while to build that up. And we'll talk a bit about how that happens right here. Typically, these are going to be franchisees or corporations that own businesses like this, like a Taco Bell, right? Taco Bell franchisee has 15, 20, 30 locations. He needs new locations. He needs new locations in new areas. It's called what they call it a footprint, right? So he's going to expand his footprint into new locations. He may be designated to a certain area based on the franchisee rules, right? Sometimes they're restricted to a certain area. So they don't impede on each other. They're not building on top of each other. So they only have their own area, and then they can expand to a new area. That's usually what a franchisee is. National investors, you can see there's a multifamily building. These people are buying and selling constantly investment properties, right? So over time, and this is what we teach our clients, is over time, your return on investment, your internal rate of return is going to start to drop or level off after 5 or 7 years. Okay. And that's just the way it works. Okay. So your internal rate of return is going to start to level off after 5 to 7 years. We typically will do what's called a buy sell analysis or buy hold analysis and see when is the appropriate time to trade out of what you have and into something new? And national investors, people who own lots of multifamily, self-storage, retail, lots of properties, are typically buying and selling constantly. And so those are people that need a regional presence, right? So that would be you, to help with their business. And then there's national and regional businesses, right? So not just franchisees, but companies that maybe are expanding aggressively, office companies that need more office buildings, industrial people who need more manufacturing or expanding into new locations. They need help too. Okay, so they need regional representation, not just for selling, but for buying and for leasing too, right? They're going to lease, they're going to sublease. They need your help. Those are our primary targets for corporate or institutional clients. Okay. Now, where are they? There's in franchisees and a lot of industries, there's an industry group that you can join. And typically it's a couple $1,000s a year. You get the phone number and email of all the franchisees in the company. Okay, so you can call and connect with them directly. And so that's a good place to start. If you want to do this, if you want some franchisees that are expanding, you want to be their guy in a location, you can join a franchisee group and start networking with them directly, just for a couple $1,000s. And then when you're when you're doing your calls, you should be doing your cold calls. When you find someone who's got a national presence, and it's not just mom and pop, answering the phone. What you're going to want to do is reach out to the asset manager or the site selection person for your region. Okay, so calling in the Houston office, say, hey, I'm Dusty Bates. I'm with EXP Commercial in Northern California. I was hoping to reach your site selection, your asset manager for the area up here. I'd like to connect with them and see if what they're looking for and see if I can add them to my list, right? Something similar to that. And from there, they can connect you with Craig or Diana or whoever is in charge of the real estate for your area. Now, some of these people are going to be developers. A lot of times, like the franchisees or investors who have a lot of national presence, they're going to be developing new locations for certain franchises, right? So certain franchises have very specific criteria that they want to go off of when they're looking at new locations. And these investors or these developers are going to have an eye out, and you can be the person who helps them find those locations, right? So that's one thing. And another kind of point would be that there's a lot of times that these guys will have internal, I think I might have pointed this out here. Yeah. So a lot of times they'll have an in-house broker, right? So there's going to be a real estate person representing them as a client. And, but at the same time, and that's the person you want to talk to when you reach out to them. At the same time, those people are the ones that you want to reach out to and connect with and form a relationship with, because they still need a regional presence. Even though they're the real estate person for the company, you can be the regional person for that company. Okay. Now, the way we're reaching out to them, again, we're cold calling to these site selection and the regional people. You're going to start by beginning to assist them with their analysis, right? You're the regional expert for your area. You're going to be able to pull comps. You're going to know rents. You're going to know the area specifically. Should they go into this area? No, it's a bit run down. It's on the downward spiral. It's probably not going to be good for your niche. So maybe we could focus over here. So you're going to start to assist them. And then you're going to start to propose that you assist them exclusively in that niche. A lot of times it comes with a discount, right? So if you're listing 5, 10, 15 properties for someone, buying and selling stuff, you're going to do that at a discount a lot of times, right? But that's how you get in there, is you start by talking to them, start the relationship, start assisting them, providing value, and then you start to propose, hey, maybe we should do this exclusively so I can do a lot more work for you, right? I can drive a lot more leads to you as I get them because I'm your exclusive guy, right? That helps. Now, again, we've got an in-house broker typically. Depends on the size of the company, right? So, but they could have an entirely separate company specific to real estate for them, which is fine. They still, again, need a regional presence to represent them. And that's you, and that's where you come in. And I don't know if I had anything else. That was really it, guys. Here's what I would really focus on is the franchisee or industry groups, especially like, because I do a lot of fast food. There's a franchisee group for literally everything. Like you do Burger King, Taco Bell, McDonald's, all of them have franchisee groups, Denny's. And what you would do is you would go in and sign up for those groups, and you can network with them directly. They give you the phone numbers and the emails of all of the franchisees, and you know where all of their locations are. So you can select people that have a footprint near you, and you can go after them. And I know we got started a bit early today, but that's about 10 minutes or so of a quick and dirty analysis or review of what you would do to get these repeat clients, right? Providing value, calling them directly, talking to them in their language. You're going to be asking for the asset manager for your region or the site selection person for your region. And that will get you past the gatekeeper to the person who you need to talk to, which is the person in charge of the real estate in your area. Let's see here. What did I not cover? I think that's really it, guys. So hopefully this helps. That's the basics of it. There's nothing fancy about it. It just takes time to build that relationship. So make sure you're providing value consistently over time. And what they'll do is they'll be your guy. You'll be their guy in an area. That'll be you. So let me check here. I do not see any comments or questions. I'm going to get a quick cup of coffee. I will be right back. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we will shut her down for next week. Talk to you in a minute. All right. I do not see any questions. Obviously, I was very successful at giving you all the information you needed. If you're watching this after the fact, you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. If you're watching this outside of our membership group, let's see here. Go ahead and head there, straighttalkacademy.com. You can sign up. We've got over 50 hours of classes. At this point, probably over 50 hours of office hours like this with different topics, but we actually have 50 hours of specific classes that are designed to get you started in commercial real estate if you're not already in. We also provide you all of our tools and resources and everything that we have in our brokerage as well. Head there, sign up, join us every Friday. Sometimes we blast this out to our other groups, but every single Friday we're here answering commercial questions if there are any, and talking about different topics. We will see you next week. Talk to you soon.